Hey guys, welcome back. Whoa, my microphone is way over here. My bad. There we go. How is everyone doing? Hopefully everyone's having a great Saturday. For me, first of all, I would like to apologize. This last week was a little bit rough. Not only did I had to finish the last series or tutorial that we're gonna be releasing in the next couple of days. Which, by the way, stay tuned because it's gonna be a very cool one, especially if you want to get into Blender and the general 3D workflow. It's for beginners. It's for absolute beginners. So it's from zero, but it's a really cool one. I'll talk a little bit more about it later on, but we had some issues on the studio, some the labors and stuff, and unfortunately my baby girl was very sick this past couple of days. Yesterday, in the middle of the night, we had to take her to the hospital because she was having this very intense cough, and we didn't know what was going on. So apparently it's an allergy that she has from one of the trees that we have outside here of the house. But yeah, first time parents for us, so it's always a tricky experience. But she's okay. It's just been a couple of sleepless nights for us. So I don't know what happens with my camera that just loses focus. Hello? There we go. Anyway, so before we jump onto the submissions, which by the way, we have a lot of them tonight or today. We're going to be dividing this into two parts. I'm just going to record everything, of course, as a single one. But yeah, look at this. It's 30 submissions or something. It's just a lot of them, which is great. I love this. So you guys know that we always do this by order of submission. So we're gonna start with Virvatra Mahant in just a second. But I just want to remind you guys, in case you want to practice a little bit of 3D this weekend, we do have the Skillshare promotion. Hey guys, Abraham here. I just want to remind you guys that we upload all of our courses to Skillshare. Skillshare is this amazing site where you can access a ton of different content to learn, improve, and grow as an artist. We have all of our courses available to watch and learn from right now in Skillshare. You can check the description down here, and Skillshare is offering 1 free month trial to their premium membership. With this membership, you're going to be able to access all of our courses and watch and learn all of the amazing things that we cover with all of the softwares. So, what are you waiting for? Check Skillshare down here below. There we go. So I'm actually going to turn on the audio, the desktop audio here. I'm going to lower it so just you can barely hear it. Just so there's a little bit of, ambience. This is from the League of Legends free streamer thing. So hopefully we don't get any copyright or anything. So yeah, let's start. Let's go with Virvatra Mahant. Says, hello, next dude. I am Virvatra Mahant from India. You can call me BSM if my name is hard to pronounce. I'm an aspiring 3D artist and I started Blender in December 2021. I want to make a career in the VFX industry. I want to achieve professionalism in softwares like Unreal Engine, Substance Painter, Designer, ZBrush, DaVinci Resolve, and Nuke. Okay. I'm currently studying 11th grade, 16 years, I guess, in Science Stream, India. I'm preparing for an engineering degree. I plan to pursue an engineering in computers and mechanics and then continue my 3D career. I have a doubt that, do I need a degree from art school or can I get a job in the VFX industry by my skills? And if I get an engineering degree, how should I proceed for my VFX career? How to stop procrastination? Okay, these are great questions. So I'm gonna answer the first one. It's a really complicated thing nowadays to mention degrees and stuff like that. I personally don't have a degree. I don't have my title right here with me, but I just finished the 3-year I think it was called the certificate program at Noman. That's my level of education, if you wish. So in our industry, in the art industry, you don't really need a degree as much as in other industries. For instance, you can't be a doctor with a degree, right? But for art, what speaks for you is your portfolio. So if you have the skills, no matter how you got them, you can get a job. It's easy. Now, the thing that art schools and degrees help you with is when you're in an art school, you learn from teachers that are in the art world. You have friends and other students. What's the word? Yeah, other people there that are also studying. So the connections you make there are very valuable. Some of the first jobs that I got was thanks to that, to those sort of connections, because the more you know people that are in the industry, the easier it's going to be to open the door and get your foot in there, right? So do I recommend getting a degree from art school? If you want to go engineering, no. But if you really want to do 3D and it kind of seems like it, then maybe. I mean, again, everyone is a special case or a different case, so I really don't know the answer to that question. That's something that everyone's gonna have to ask themselves. Some people will say you definitely need to do. Some people will say you definitely do not need to do it. It's a flip of a coin. So The one thing I would definitely recommend is if you can get more classes, like at least a couple of classes, like in-person classes, that's always good, again, to build connections, because I know tutorials are super amazing and you can get a lot of information from there, but the real world experience you get from like interacting with the teacher and with other students, that's really valuable as well. How to stop procrastination? That's an excellent question. I've been using this Pomodoro technique. I've mentioned this one before, and I think it's really good. There's this site called Pomo Focus. So, for instance, as you can see, this is the one from yesterday, and the way this works is as follows: you go into this page, you can create your own account if you want to save some like stats and stuff. If not, it's completely free, and you write down like what do you need to do. For instance, right now I need to record next to it YouTube. Okay, and you estimate how many Pomodoros it's gonna take. One Pomodoro is 25 minutes. So from what I just saw, it's probably gonna be 4 Pomodoros, okay? So it's gonna hit save. And now that I have this, I just start my timer and it will just start counting 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, it's gonna give me a little bit of an alarm, and that's my like signal to stop, and you get a short break, 5 minutes. And during those 5 minutes, you can do whatever you want. Go into Facebook, go into YouTube, like play a quick game of chess, for instance. I love like playing chess. I have my painting station over here, so I've been painting some miniatures as well. So I do that in my 5 minutes. After 4 Pomodoros, after 4 cycles, you get a long break, which is, I believe, 20 minutes or something like that, or 25 minutes as well. And that way you just keep yourself focused. That's one of the tools that has really helped me. Having a calendar or a schedule is also really good, but I do recommend this tool. It's really, really cool. Now let's jump onto your portfolio real quick and let's take a look. Okay, great. Yeah, this is great. This is really, really nice. Substance material. I'm not super familiar with Substance. Here, I would say the render is affecting you a little bit. I think it's a little bit too glossy. You can see it here, like we see like the perfect reflection of the light. I like the material, but it's definitely way, way too glossy. My advice for this one is grab a different kind of render. Instead of doing a studio render, which is what you're doing here, and that's why we're getting these very strong reflections from like the basic lights, try to get a traditional HDR, because the material looks really, really good. I like it. This was pretty nice. Tone the chromatic aberration a little bit down. It's a little bit too much, I would say. That's okay. I like this one. This is nice. Again, simple model. If you're going to be showing hard surface models, my advice is always to show a wireframe as well. It really helps. Ooh, I really like this one. See, DaVinci Resolve is a software that I haven't used yet, and I definitely need to get into it because it helps with the the overall feeling at the end. This one looks good. I think the render could be a little bit better because it looks a little bit flat overall. I'm not sure if you're using cycles or if you're not using cycles, use cycles. That one's way, way better. Also, careful with the size of the grain of the wood. It's a little bit too repetitive, I would say. Usually chess pieces are small, and this seems to be made of like really big chunks of wood, and that's why we see a lot of veins. So tone the veins down a little bit, I would say. And this is a nice model. That's good. I like the fact that you already have your little logo and your VSM studios. That's great. I love that. Yeah, this is a great starting point, my friend. My advice would be, again, start like focusing on the specific software. Don't try to take all of the softwares at the same time. I prefer specializing in something first and then jumping onto the next one. But this is a great start. So I wish you the best on your journey. You're young, by the way. Like if you're 16 years old, you're way too young. Well, not way too young, but you're really young. So you have a whole life ahead of you. By the time you're 30, like me, in 14 years, you're gonna be a beast in 3D. You're gonna be amazing. So just keep improving every single day. Keep learning new stuff, and I can assure you that you're gonna be doing great things. Cool. Let's go now with Adil Shalom. What do we have here? Okay, no message. I love when you guys leave me a message. Next time, feel free to leave me a message. Okay, let's take a quick look over them. This is a nice one. I've seen these ones. They're like this sort of like Instagram posts that I show. Usually they added like more shiny materials. This one looks a little bit too flat and a little bit too saturated. I would play around with the contrast of the colors for this one. But this is 2 years ago, so... Ooh, this is a really nice concept piece, my friend. Are you a concept artist? This is really nice. I like this. Nice photo bash. Not bad. It says mature content, but I don't see why, to be honest. Yeah, I've mentioned this once before. Like, if they're super simple, they might not create this sort of like impression that you want on your audience, and it kind of makes you question, like, why would you add something that's a little bit too simple? So maybe go through some of your works and decide which ones are really worth it. Like this one, I think it's a good one. Go closer because it's a little bit far away and we can't really appreciate the details. And increase the light because the light is really, really flat right now. Yeah, you did the Aku Aku. Were you following the tutorial? Nice, nice. It's a little bit dense though. I think on the one that I did, we did simplify we did a retopology to simplify things. There's no need to tag your stuff as mature content if there's no mature content. It just makes it a little bit harder to see. So careful there. I'm not sure if it's like something by default that you selected. Yeah, I think my main advice to you, my friend, would be the rendering. We released a course not so long ago, which is the cinematic render course for Maya and Arnold. Your Photoshop skills are really good, my friend. I applaud you that. The graphic design that you have is really nice. And the 3D is not bad, but again, you need to improve a little bit on the rendering side of things. This is not a good model. I am really sorry to say this, but this is not a real good model. It's a really high poly and it doesn't look sharp. It doesn't really look like a knife. I would definitely take this one out. Again, remember, don't add stuff to your portfolio that's not as strong as what you might say. Same for this one. Like, I mean, yeah, it's an Among Us, but I mean, anyone can do an Among Us in like 20 minutes. So you always want your portfolio to be your best work, the things that look the best. Like, I like that Frankenstein, that's fine. Yeah, that one's careful with the topology. There's a couple of issues there. And again, a little bit dense. But yeah, I would say your graphic design is definitely stronger than your 3D stuff. Since there's no message, I really don't know what else to tell you. Like, I'm not sure what you want to specialize on. I can definitely see that you do have some very good knowledge about 3D. Make sure you retopologize properly because your assets are a little bit on the high side of poly count. And clean your render. Your render is a little bit flat. I would play around with your lights so you get a cleaner render. Let's go now with Saksham. Oh, you guys have really complicated names. Well, they're complicated for me as a Mexican. I'm pretty sure it's very easy for you guys who are used to this. But as Saksham Upadhyay, I think. Hey, how are you doing, buddy? I'm doing okay. I would appreciate if you could review my portfolio so that I can add or remove items based on what major hiring studios are looking for. Also, I was thinking about taking references from real life and getting as close to the details as possible, kind of like realistic art render. Yeah, that's a great idea. Like going into the real world, grabbing an object and trying to make sure it matches exactly as it is. It's a really good idea. I don't have... Oh, yes, I do. Give me 1 second. So for those of you that have taken some of my courses, one of the exercises that I always give my students is a barrel. And I found this barrel a couple of years ago. It's a really fun barrel. So you could do stuff like this, like find an object that's... I would suggest not going for something super complex at first. This would be like a perfectly good one. And try to match it as close as possible. Like the placement of the little bolts, the size of this like wooden like plug, all of the carvings that we have right here. Right here it says Kike. It says ELF, the kind of like decay or the marks. Like try to make sure you get it as close as possible. We're not gonna get it as close as possible unless we were to like scan it, right? But you can get really, really close and create something that looks very good. So that's a great exercise to take something from the real world and do it as best as you can. Have you submitted before? Because I do remember some of this stuff. I think you have. Yes, you definitely have. I remember some of the stuff. Okay, so I'm not gonna go over all of them. I'm just gonna okay, NFTs. Wow. I don't think I've given my opinion on NFTs. It's I would say controversial topic. Some artists are really on board with them, some artists are not. I was actually hired to help with a couple of NFTs. And the problem that I've seen is that a lot of artists get paid and a lot of artists do not get paid, or some of them are promised they're gonna get paid when the NFT sells, and if it doesn't sell then you're out of luck. So I'm not saying don't do it, I'm just saying be careful. Hopefully you did get paid if you were doing this as a commission, and if you're selling them, I hope that they sell so that you can get some good money. They look really good though. I like the design. I don't think I would ever buy an NFT myself. It's not something that I'm interested, to be honest. But the proportions look good, the textures look good. This is the kind of stuff that I've seen like floating around, so that's pretty cool. The originality on this one, I like it, like a wax candle sort of thing. That's pretty cool. Yeah, you have good stuff here, my friend. This Chun-Li, I think we've mentioned this before, that the eyes and the hair on the eyebrows was looking a little bit weird. The gold as well looks a little bit off. I would maybe like add a little bit more roughness to it. Same for like the pores here, just like decrease them a little bit. But I don't think I would take anything from your portfolio. Things look good. I would probably combine this, guys, into a single post again, just to not like overflow your portfolio, and then you can create like a collage thing where you show like a couple of them in the front page, and then when you click, you can see the rest of them. This is photo bash, right? Or did you sculpt? Oh, you did sculpt. Wow, nice. nice. Yeah, you did this sort of like metal cyber. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, NFTs are really interesting. I personally not like full on board with the whole thing, because I know that there's been a lot of scams and stuff like that, but I know that there's a future. So if you guys can get a job doing NFTs, do it, because I know it pays well. Like I have some friends of mine that have been doing that for the last year, and they've gotten some good commissions out of it. But just be careful that you do get paid, because I've also had a lot of friends. I would say I've had more friends not get paid for the NFT work that they do than friends that do. So it's, again, just be careful. I think I have one over here. Let me see if I have it. The one that I was doing. Here we go. Yeah. It was a concept piece that they wanted. It was a kangaroo that they wanted to like change the outfits and stuff like that, and he was gonna be like smoking a blunt, you know, this kind of deal, right? So they wanted like realistic hair and realistic stuff and realistic everything. It was a nice experience. Unfortunately, like it didn't continue. I did get paid for that one, but it just didn't continue. So yeah, you have a good portfolio, my friend. I think you're doing great. Again, I would probably just combine these three guys. Even the props, like for instance, like this 4 or 5 things that are on great backgrounds, you could maybe combine them into a single one so that you can see more of them at the first time that you see this. I think I've mentioned this one before. I would probably take this one out because it's not textured. Or at least I would get some clay renders out of this because it looks very incomplete. Now I know this was 2 years ago, but like just like basic screenshots from Maya, I never like doing that. Same for this one. I think this one, I would probably take it out. Textures are not looking as nice, and rendering also quite flat. So I think you have a good eye, man. I think you know which ones are not as strong, and I think what you wanted was a little bit more like numbers here in your portfolio. Numbers, I mean, they're good, but quality is better. So I would say quality over quantity. Cool. Let's go now with Umang Shukla. It says right here, my ArtStation page. Okay. 1997. Is that your birthday? Probably, right? Okay, not bad. I like this one. Simple, clean, stylish shield. Nice low poly, really nice low poly. I think the bump map on the wood's a little bit too much. You can reduce that by like half, and that will make it look a little bit better, I would say. That's a nice grenade as well. This is a very common model that we do. I teach this one as well sometimes. Not so sure in the UBs. Like this thing right here, I'm not sure what this is. I'm not sure what part of the model this is. And here's the deal. I think it's this little flower up here. And the problem is you have way too much resolution on this thing and way too little resolution on this thing. So make sure you're using your layout correctly so that you get the proper amount of resolution. Again, simple, but efficient. Careful there. You have a couple of overlaps on your UVs. That is going to cause some issues on the bakes. And this kind of looks like an automatic UV. Careful with automatic UVs. I did do I was called like 5 tips for the best UVs or something video a couple of months ago. Check that one out. I think that could benefit you. This one's nice. A little bit too dirty, I would say. Like, make sure you, when you're texturing, you bury where you texture. These are not proper UVs. I mean, they're not bad. Again, like, you can get away with this, of course, but there's way too many cuts, and we can simplify them, and we can use a little bit more of the space. See all of this empty space that we have in between the islands? That's something that we can definitely utilize, especially for a game asset. You want to use as much as possible because a resolution is really, really important. And it's really nice that you can create like a full environment. This one looks really good. I like it. Nice illumination. Where did you render this? Unreal Engine. That's great. That's great. Yeah. I mean, if you already have this house, just duplicate that house a couple more times, duplicate the pillars, duplicate this, like make a whole little town, even if it's just the same assets, just so that it doesn't look as a desert. But it's a good presentation. I like this one. And you have screenshots for Maya models. I'm guessing these are Maya models they're working with. Okay, yeah, so topology here, not flowing properly. Remember that eyes should flow in a round section. Same for the mouth. This one definitely needs a lot more work. What do we have here? These are just works in progress. Once reviews on this should focus on pros, environments, or characters. Based on what I'm seeing, you need a little bit more training in characters. Also, these things right here, these are horrible, my friend. I'm not sure if you did them or if you got them from somewhere online. These are really, really bad, reference there, that the proportions are not right. And I'm pretty sure if you look for Kung Fu Panda character sheets, I'm pretty sure you can find something a little bit closer to what you're looking for. Like, this is Po, right? Like, this is way, way closer to what we're looking for. I think you got them from here, and it kind of feels like someone was doing their own like interpretation of the element. Because look at this. This is the form that you want. This is a lot closer to what I would say you would need to achieve if you're trying to do the tiger. So yeah, I think right now your strong point is not characters. That doesn't mean that you can't become good at characters. It just means that you're probably gonna be more successful having a portfolio with props, because these props look a lot closer. Yeah, that's a lot better. That would be my advice. If you ask me, should I focus on characters or props? Right now, with your skill level, I would definitely focus on your props. Cool. Let's go now with Varan Yilmaz. Hi, Abraham. I hope you're doing all right. I'm Varan, and I'm trying to improve myself as a character artist for games. I've been doing 3D since 2020, and I started with little props and have been using silvers and substance for 4 months now. I want to stick with realistic characters. Hope you like my work. Let's take a look. When I was in high school, I used to have the hair like that. A lot more frizz, but I used to have like a really long hair as well. Not bad, my friend. Not bad. I like this. This is a really cool one. Really crazy looking. Yotun. I've heard about this one. Did you base this on a concept art, or did you like create your own? I've heard this myth. A group of students did like this same myth a couple of years ago. Last year, I think we had like a competition. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I can definitely tell that you're going for this sort of like realistic look. I can definitely see the improvement as well. Like the textures in this one, they were okay. Same for this one, but now this one looks really nice. Like the textures on the skin here look really, really cool. Congratulations on this one. Did you render on Arnold? Of course, yes. Yeah, the subsurface. Subsurface is a little bit too high, I would say. We need to sculpt a little bit more on the hands, like the you know how on the fingers we have this like knuckle thingy, and there's like bands. I would like to see those. Same for the tendons. I like mine don't. They don't show us much, but you can see how when I tense the hand a little bit, you can kind of see the tendons right there. So that kind of stuff really works. Your anatomy is not far off. Forearm needs a little bit more work because it looks a little bit too thin in certain areas. Deltoid looks good. The bicep looks good. The ribcage here looks a little bit squashed. I would probably like just stretch him a little bit more because he looks like short. And you definitely need to improve the textures on the helmet because you have a really amazing textures on the head, and then the helmet's really clean. Unless that's what you were going for, it's just a little bit jarring, I would say. Face is good. We're getting there. Don't forget about the nasolabial fold. This is a little bit too glossy. Same for this one. Yeah, this is a little bit too glossy. I think this one looks way better. The first one was a little bit too glossy. Proportion wise, he looks okay. Skin I like. Yeah, not much to say. It looks good. It looks good. Yeah, he looks a little bit on the uncanny valley, but I think it's because he's missing like the eyebrows and like maybe hair or something. But the wrinkles and everything, they make sense. So that's good. This one looks more like a game character, because he looks like a zombie or something. Really good, my friend. Really good. I like it. I really like this one. Congratulations. And then we have this one. Okay, so yeah, here's the anatomy. Anatomy wise, I think you know your muscles, you know where they're supposed to be. I'm not sure where you got the reference from this one. There's a lot of like very horrible like crime scenes and stuff like that you can use to reference, of course. I haven't seen a lot. I like horror is not really my my like the thing that I like the most, to be honest. But the skin again looks good. You've really been doing quite a bit of work on the texturing side. I do think that there's a couple of things that we could be improving on the forearms. Like usually you would see like the muscles here on the forearms like pushing a little bit higher. In here they look to be like stopping right about there. Same for the muscles on the back. We definitely need to give them a couple of corrections over there. And if he's gonna be like this skinny, I would expect the legs to be really skinny as well. You probably have seen like pictures from like Holocaust survivors and how every single part of their bodies pretty much like shrink wrapped to the skeleton, which is really sad. But that's probably what you're gonna go for here, right? Like you wouldn't expect to have this much muscle on the legs and on the calves when you're like this dehydrated and malnourished on the third part. Careful with the pose. This pose makes it look like this. Like if I see this as a presentation, I think I like this picture, this B pose, more than this T pose, because this one looks a little bit weird. He looks kind of fake. I would go really intense and go like into this like golem sort of thing. Let me just lower this a little bit more because I feel like I'm being cropped. There we go. So yeah, I would go like a little bit more intense there so that it shows better. But congratulations, man, for 2 years of work. This is roughly what I would expect someone who has been doing this for 2 years to be. Like this is a really good like position, and you can actually already get some works every now and then with this amount of like level, because I mean there's AAA games that don't even get to this point. So well, not AAA games, but there's some indie games that don't even get to this point. So you are really good. You're in a really good position, I would say. It says here that you're already using UVs. Show the UVs. That would be a really good point for headhunters to see that you know how to do UVs as well. This one I really like. Congratulations. Let's go now with Muhith. Let's see what it says right here. I'm gonna lower the music a little bit more. Hopefully it's not too much for you guys. Hello, Abraham. I'm Muhith Said, currently pursuing MBBS from Hanyang Medical University. I'm mostly focused on making stylized characters. Being from medical background, I also tried some medical animation. I hope you like it. I really like your courses. Content of courses are really awesome. As you know, I'm studying medicine. Nice. My main problem is my time is limited. Anyhow, I manage 4 to 5 hours daily for 3D. That's a lot. Recently started freelancing to earn a few bucks. Sir, according to your experience, is there any advice for new freelancers like me? According to your experience, what do you think is most demanding skill in freelancing, like modeling, rigging, animation, etc.? I'm focused on freelancing or studio part-time jobs so I can learn and earn at the same time. Wow, I mean, congratulations on pursuing medicine at the same time as 3D. Those are two really like demanding careers, to be honest. I would say there's not a lot of secrets to freelancing. You need to get your name out there. So if you have an Instagram or like a TikTok or like a Facebook page, try to update frequently so that people know that you're doing this stuff, because the more people know, the easier it's gonna be to land something. This is nice. Like I think it can work for like a game. Like definitely there's a lot of like advertisement houses that look for this kind of stuff for their like Facebook stuff or their commercials. So that's good. Careful on the proportions. The proportions here look a little bit off. The eyes are a little bit too wide. This part right here is way too flat. So if you're gonna do stylized, pick a style of stylized, because there's a lot of different styles. In the most recent course that we're gonna be releasing very soon, I use the Disney Infinity sort of stylized result. So you probably have seen this like characters. So we go for this sort of stuff, right? This is the stylized effect we have. I'm actually gonna show you if you guys have like if you've been watching the past 30 minutes, then I think you deserve to see. This is the final result. This is the character that we're going to be showing on the Blender for absolute beginners. Character creation, Blender character creation for absolute beginners. That's the title of the course that's going to be releasing again very, very soon. And this is the sort of stuff that we do with proper topology and everything, game ready, so that we can pose it and do all of the things that we need. So yeah. So again, pick one type of stylization. It could be this one, it could be like Arcane from League of Legends, it could be like Overwatch. Like, pick one and try to make sure your stuff gets to that specific level. This kind of stuff also, even if it's not as polished as we would normally expect in games and in movies, is really valuable, because a lot of other industries that are not the entertainment industry need visualization of some type. So if you can do this stuff, sometimes selling this for like a couple $100 is also a really, really good way to make money. So yeah, this is great. And it doesn't need to look pretty, right? Because it's supposed to be educational. The prettier it look, the better, of course. But the main purpose of this kind of content is to teach, right? So that's a good way to do it. Let's go with Mukul. I remember you. I think we've reviewed your stuff. Dear Abraham, as always, I sincerely appreciate the knowledge you share through your course and YouTube videos. I hope that your studio are doing well. Yes, we're doing well. You know, the usual stuff. Clients wanting more things that they originally asked for. Payments getting delayed sometimes. That's the kind of stuff. Yeah, I remember your stuff, of course. Let's see, what's new? This guy's new. Concept 3D art. Okay, concept 3D art is perfectly fine. Too many rains or too many like droplets. Everything else, like the light and the character, everything looks really good. But I think all of the planes that you have for the rain, it's modding the image, so we can't really tell or see all of the 3D stuff. This is cool. Yeah, all of this is really nice, but we definitely need to see, or I would like to see the scene with not as much rain, because right now it looks a little bit too. It's a little bit too much for that particular scene. And then this one, oh, this looks pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Now, I see here that you're using Unreal Engine 5. My first advice would be add more subdivisions. Like, you don't need to go this low. At the end of the day, or in worst case scenario, you grab the chair and you make it a nanite mesh, and that's it. Like, it's gonna look really good, because right now it looks way too like faceted, right? And it's not a nice thing. But yeah, other than that, congratulations, man. I mean, I've mentioned this before. You have a really good eye for composition and for lighting. I like this very cinematic light that you make. Just need to make it clearer. This one right here, it's not clear. The rain is making it very difficult to appreciate everything else. So either blur the rain or remove some of the droplets or something, because everything else looks really good, but the rain is just like making it really difficult to see it. And thanks for supporting the channel, my friend. It really means a lot to us. Ricardo Torres, my. So Ricardo Torres, he's one of my students here, like locally. I've taught this guy like in person. So it says, hi Ram, I hope you remember me by being your student. Of course I do, and for asking you about my career a couple of weeks ago and my fear as an artist. Yes, of course I do. I've decided to be a character artist and creature artist as professionally as possible. Either as a hobby or as a profession, okay? I follow what you told me in the audio a couple of weeks ago, and I'm making a render of my portfolio a day, and I try to keep this until I can. I'm trying to keep doing this as long as I can. I've taken some of them out by my own, what's the word? By my own decision, but most of them are still there. Here's the portfolio. He says, thank you for this 3 years of an intense career full of learning. I'll take your teaching style and communicating style the rest of my life, and I hope one day to be at the level to work with you. A lot of success. That's pretty cool. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you. Hopefully I translated that as nicely as possible. I did read it in Spanish, so thank you, my friend. Ricardo is one of my students. There's a very cool university here in my city, and they teach, or they have a very specific career that's called technological creativity. So in that career, I'm the head 3D teacher. I teach most of the 3D classes, and Ricardo was one of my students, and he's been improving quite a bit. So last time I saw his portfolio, it was right up till this, until the Venom, and now I can definitely see the improvement in the forms, in the shapes. That's really, really nice. Okay, so I'm gonna make a couple of points. I love what you did here with the mouth, Ricardo. This is amazing. The sort of like forms that each tooth like create, that's great. I still would encourage you to take one of them, like pick whatever, like whichever you feel looks the best. I can give you a couple of hints, like this one right here, this one right here, and this one right here. I really like all three of those. So those could be the ones that you, even this one, I really like this one. To be honest, I would actually pick this one, and I would really recommend you doing retopology and projection process, because I know that you're doing most of this with like polypaint and stuff, and I know you're doing this because you're trying to do one a day, which is great to get speed and get better at ZBrush. But I can see that you already have that. Like from what I saw a couple of weeks ago to what I'm seeing now, I can definitely see that you already know how to move around in ZBrush. So now what you need to prove is that you know how to create the full production pipeline. Either that, or start thinking about, because I remember you mentioned this, that you want to be a concept artist for like CD covers or like posters and stuff like that. Try to do that as well. Like pick this guy, for instance, and try to do a movie poster with this one. But to do that, you're definitely going to have to go into Maya and change the lights a little bit, or Blender even, and play around with the composition. Congratulations, man. Like you are definitely improving. And believe me, you are in my radar. In case we need a character artist, you are one of the ones that I'm gonna be calling. So yeah, keep it going. Keep doing some of this. I think these are great. And yeah, focus on the production, as I mentioned. Like focus on the kind of thing that you're gonna deliver, right? Because that's what you want to do as a freelance character artist. You want to make sure that people understand, what is it that I'm getting? What am I going to be getting? Am I going to be getting a cover piece? Am I going to be getting just a concept? Like, what is it that I'm getting from you? Another thing we could do, by the way, I do have my 3D printer. If you want to 3D print one of this and maybe like sell them as a collectible, that might be another option. I know some artists do that. They create like a really, really cool piece, and then they 3D print and create like 10 or 15, 20 different versions. Well, not versions, like they produce 10 or 20 copies, and then they sell them as their original art. That's something that can definitely happen as well. So yeah, congratulations, man. This is looking quite nice. I love it. Let's go now with Siroshirin Khabib for Mr. Abraham. Hello, Mr. Abraham. Mr. It sounds very formal. You can call me Abraham. That's fine. I am Sirojidin Khabib from Uzbekistan. Nice. I studied 3D modeling and character modeling courses for 6 months. I have some work done on modeling and sculpting. If you see my skills and tell me what other skills I need, what are the studios where I can work? I have one more request. It's supposed to be pretty cool with you. Hello. I would love to hire every single one of you guys. Like it would be amazing if I could work with all of the people that I have taught in the last couple of years. But unfortunately, we're not hiring right now. The team that we have is very solid, and we are able to produce all of the things that are being requested. And also, well, you guys know hiring someone means more money, right? And even though we're doing good here at the studio, we're not a multi-million company or anything, so we can't hire as many people. But thank you for wanting to work with us. This looks really good. I like this cartoon style. Oh, nice. I would definitely place this image first and then the wireframe later, because I thought at first that you only had the wireframe, and it's already like it's here, so it's kind of like hidden. So I will definitely place this one on top. Rendering wise, I think the light could be a little bit better. It looks a little bit flat as well. Like I don't see very direction light. Careful here with the textures. This chimney right here, the textures that you're mapping on the chimney and the textures that you're mapping on the walls right here, they're not matching. What do I mean by this? The bricks right here, they should be horizontal, they're vertical, and the size of the brick should be way smaller. Same for this one here on the chimney. You need to make sure that they are following like the order you would expect them to follow in the real world. Now I can definitely tell that this was done like a while ago, 9 months ago. So if this was one of your first elements, then you might not have known all of that stuff. Really nice knife. I like this. I would like to see more renders of this one. Wireframe renders would be a really good idea. But the model right now looks really nice. This fence right here, very nice. You're following my advice. The grain of the wood should always go in the direction of the longest like area of the element. So that's nice. Simple suitcase. Okay. that one, it's not my favorite, to be honest. This one looks good, but I think the texture is a little bit too saturated. I would need to see the reference, if there's one, to see whether or not we were matching it properly. But I think that the gold looks a little bit too saturated. And it makes it look fake. The modeling is fine, but it makes it look a little bit fake. Now, you do mention here that you want to be a 3D modeling and character artist, but I don't see any characters. Okay, there's this one right there. Yeah, so I just see this one right here. So I wouldn't say, like, I can't say if you are a character artist or not, because there's no character. So I would probably take this one away for now. And as soon as you start modeling or adding more characters to the file, then you should be able to do this. There's a couple of character courses that I've done, and there's some more that I'm gonna be doing, of course. So there's the game character. It's like a demon character creation for games, and then there's the stylized soldier that we gave away a couple of months ago. In the ZBrush courses, I do a little bit of like character sculpting as well. Yeah, I think ZBrush would be the next skill for you, my friend, because I don't see a lot of ZBrush. I see a lot of modeling and good texturing, but maybe ZBrush would be a nice skill to jump. So if you haven't learned ZBrush yet, check out my complete guide to ZBrush 2022 on our channels, and I think that will be a nice addition to your skills. Cool. Let's keep going. Let's see how many we have. We have a lot, I know, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Yeah, so it's pretty much 30. Okay. Mukul, you made it on time, man. Mukul is one of our commenters on YouTube. He comments frequently. So we're going to do 15 for this one, and then we'll do the next one tomorrow, okay? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Let's go to number 10. Bagu's Mars. Hi, next dude. I always adore people who share their knowledge with quality and really low amount of price, even for free, which is insane to me. You guys are one of them. And knowing you guys doing portfolio review for free, of course, I can't miss this. Learning 3D character are only from course and have plus and minuses. Yes, that's right. The minuses, you don't really know where this learning path could lead you to. I hope if I were lucky enough to be one of the chosen, I hope I could get some of dice of which drop to land. Well, if by the chosen one you mean your portfolio, every single one of your portfolios is reviewed. So you're good there. Nice! Dude, I love this. I love this. My first sculpt. It's not that's not loading for some reason. Terra, yes, Terra from Kingdom Hearts. Wait, but you just have the back part? Where's the front? You didn't like the front? The hair looks really nice though. I like the hair. That tends to be quite tricky to do. I love your style, man. Your style is this like simplified, again, stylized stuff. It looks very good. Proportions are good. It's weird. I see thumbnails, and then when I get here, they're not there. Make sure to check your settings here in ArtStation so that we can see everything. This one looks good. Proportions are good. Like the character looks nice. That's like realistic here, so we got the strands and everything. Thor is saying hello. Have you guys met Thor? Hey, Thor. Say hi to the guys. He's one of my dogs. I have 2 dogs. His name is Thor. And then there's a Jane. It's a little dog that we have as well. But I don't let her in the studio because she destroys things. So, yeah, I like this character. This one's fun. But the one that immediately caught my eye was this one. This was really nice. Like the forms, you really clean the forms, which is, it's tough to do, especially if you're, it says here last year, so 1 year of experience is good. Female e-crochet. You're using a lot of Blender, right? I'm not sure if you know how to use ZBrush. I do like the Blender sculpting tools. They're good, but they don't beat ZBrush. I mean, just ZBrush is just so amazing for sculpting. Yeah, I mean, this is great, man. One thing that I'm seeing is that you are doing a lot of portraits. Yeah, this is ZBrush. Now I can see that this is a little bit more ZBrush. You're doing a lot of portraits. You do have full bodies as well. I would like to see some wireframes, because I haven't seen a lot of wireframes. This, to me, looks like something that could very easily be used for like a statue 3D printing, as I was mentioning with Ricardo. But you definitely need to finish like a body and make sure that you can rig it and animate it and stuff like that, because for production you definitely need to make sure that your character works in a video game or in a movie, right? So like finishing this guy right here or this girl and then rigging her and animating her, that would be something that could work as well. But yeah, this is a good portfolio, my friend. Another thing that, oh, there we go, now it loaded. Yeah, so full body male, we're missing a full body male, definitely. I wouldn't say you're a newbie character artist. I think you can already take away the newbie. I give you permission to take away the newbie. You definitely know what you're doing. So someone can definitely come to you and say, hey, I need this character. And I'm pretty sure you could deliver. This is really nice as well. But again, do the full body. Do the full body. Try to always do the full body. I know it takes more time, and I know that the fan arts are really good. Now, that's another thing. There's a lot of fan art right here. Most of these characters are from like famous TV shows or games. Try to do a concept art that's not a fan art. I've mentioned this before. Like literally, just look for character concept art, and grab one that you say, hey, this looks cool, and do it. Like even if it's like anime-ish style, like this girl right here, but try to do every single thing exactly as it's in the concept art, so that you can show that you know how to follow a process. And I would like to see UVs, I would like to see wireframes, and I would like to see a game ready mesh if you're going for games. But that's great, man. Bagu's Mars. It's an interesting name as well. Cool. So that was number 10, I believe. Let's go now with Andrew Horvunov. Andrew, hi Abraham, hope you're doing well. My name is Andrew, I'm from Belarus. Nice, Minsk. I'm a beginner 3D artist and I'm trying to improve my skills to find a job. Currently, I have only several works to show you. I will be glad to hear what you think. Of course. See, I don't know what is with like Russians, Belarus, Ukraine, like all of that northern part of Europe. You guys love mechs. Like every single, well, not every single, but a lot of the portfolios that I seen from people from those regions are mechs. And then when you go towards Asia, characters, and then when you go to another part, environments. It's kind of weird. There's a lot of characters also in like South America. I don't know why this happens, but there's tendency to go to certain types of things, and I see it because it's just a hard surface. But this is great, man. I love this. This is nice. Nice. I've never done like this sort of stuff. It's not what I like as much, but this is good. There's a weird shadow there. I'm not sure if it's part of the model that's like dented. Kind of looks like it. This is really good. The texture work is really nice. You followed. I'm not sure if you followed one of my advices, but you did follow what I say, that don't add the metal edgeware everywhere. The metal edgeware is usually in certain areas. Like you're gonna find that in a couple of areas more than in others. The texture is amazing. Like this is perfect texture. It does look a little bit glossy. Like the paint looks a little bit glossy. I would like to see this in context, like on top of a table or inside of a crate or something, because it looks a little bit too glossy. Since it's not in an environment, right? But things look really nice. Do we have a wireframe? Wireframes would be very important as well, because I'm not sure how high they are. I can see that you're using Marmoset, but Marmoset nowadays can handle quite a bit of geometry. I can see very smooth cables, which tells me that geometry is quite high. So just be careful there on the geometry kind of side of things, because we don't want this to be like super high if you're gonna be using for games. But this is great. I love that one. Then the axe from God of War. This one, I think it looks a little bit weaker. I'm not sure if like this line right here, you try to sculpt it and it shows rather than model it. But this one is not as strong. The wood looks great, and so does the leather. A little bit too shiny on the leather again, and careful on the metal edgeware on the wood, because now here I can see that it's everywhere. And the colors, I don't know, they look a little bit too saturated. I'm not sure if it's the render or what, but I don't love this one as much as the last one. And then this one is perfect. Simple, straight to the point. Yeah, this works perfectly fine. Yeah, congratulations, man. I think the next thing that you need to do is just keep adding more stuff to your portfolio. Like these 3 pieces are great. I would definitely add like a long gun, think like an AK-47, like an AR-15, stuff like that. A tank. Some people like to do a lot of robots. Yeah, I would say that would be a nice path for you. But yeah, you're doing great. I like those pieces. Let's go with Vimvrash Malvilla. Portfolio. Leave me a message, guys. I want to know from you. I want to hear from you. Let's see. Okay, okay. Interesting. What do we have here? Blender and Photoshop. So it's just like a render, okay. Render, okay, this is kind of like compositing, right? Because we take a simple setup and then we create a piece that makes it look like it's part of a movie or something. I would say this lens flare is a little bit too much. Like, we probably wouldn't see the lens flare on top of the mountain. I'm not sure. And same for the dust. It's a little bit too much dust. This one looks a little bit more cinematic. Maybe just up the contrast a little bit. And this one looks a little bit too fake, right? Too exaggerated. I like this. I mean, fog is fine. Displayed CD, that's good. This do look more like exercises though, so be careful there. Okay, you did model this character. That's nice. Remember, whenever we're showing characters, it's always a good idea to also show like the basic pose, the B pose or the T pose. Careful here with the deformation. Some of them look a little bit wonky. It's not a bad character, but he looks a little bit like flimsy. Oh, now I understand. You all did this for a film. Okay. I'm just gonna... Nice. See, I'm very... This is me, but I'm very self-conscious about the things that I can and cannot do. And I know that I can't do this sort of stuff. Like, I feel like I can't do this sort of stuff. So I applaud anyone that tries and do this. Like do a full short film. Like in this case, that's amazing, man. It's not an easy feat. Even if the quality of some of the things could be better, like what I mentioned with the character. I mean, just the fact that you made a full film, that's impressive. It's not an easy feat, so congratulations on that one. And the look of it looks really cinematic. It a little bit too much, I would say. Like the filters, the blue filters and the green filters definitely look a little bit too much. But it's a nice one. I like it, man. Again, it's not easy. It's not easy to do a full movie. These, like, the people that have this sort of mindset, I would say you're probably gonna be going more into like the direction side of things or the lead thing. Like, you are the one that has the ideas and like the vision, and you get a team of people that help you get to that vision. I consider myself to be more of the lead artist that likes to do something and do it really, really well. But yeah, like that's really impressive. Abandoned warehouse. Okay, now is this... Okay, yeah, compositing. So it definitely, like, again, that's why messages are really important. They help me understand what's your goal. It definitely looks to me that you want to go more into the compositing side of things, like creating an object and making sure it matches the world, or that you can see it within a specific element. Because that's what I see on this first elements, and then I see props, which is really good. Like this spacecraft here looks really, really nice. Again, whenever you show models, yeah, that's great. Oh, okay. That's good that you clarified here. You retextured this model from Andreas Engevold. So you got this model. I'm not sure if you paid for it or if it was free. But you got this like low poly spacecraft, which is good. And then you retexture it, which you did a really nice job. And then you comped it into this shot. So yeah, it definitely tells me, like, your portfolio tells me that you want to be a comp artist. Make sure to place that on your information so that people know that that's what you do. Same thing here, like you textured a model and then you just placed it on Marmoset. So you're really good at this sort of things, like making sure a model fits the scene, which is great. And I would say that should be your portfolio. That should be what you tell people that you do, that you're really good at compositing things. Because I haven't really seen any model that you have modeled. Most of them, you are getting them and then retexturing them, which you're doing a great job again. But you're not really a 3D modeler from what I'm getting, right? Did you model this one? Description. Add the description. But yeah, congratulations, man. Like, I don't know too much about compositing, so I don't think I'm going to be able to help you. But that's an impressive portfolio as well. Tony Natsios. Good Tony says, hi, my name is Tony and I'm on my final year of studying computer animation arts. My goal is to become a 3D character artist. Here's my portfolio. Let's take a look. Tony Natsios from Glasgow. I've always wanted to go to the United Kingdom. Okay. The Keyblade, nice. I see some good models. I see some models that would probably take out, or some pieces that would probably take out. Like this one, I would probably take this one out. I don't think you really need it, to be honest. The cards are fine. This one right here, it's it does look like you, but it's a little bit on the uncanny valley side of things, I would say. The hair looks interesting. It's section, but yeah, some of the proportions there could be a little bit better. This is pretty cool. I like this creature. I think a better render might improve it. I can see that you're trying to render this in Marmoset. Hopefully you're using the newest Marmoset. Remember that on the lights, you can change the size of the light so that you get a softer shadow, and try to turn on the global illumination or the ray tracing so that you get a more realistic look. Also, maybe change the material so that it's a little bit subsurfacey, so it looks like wax, and I think that's going to improve the render because it's a good concept. It's just a render that needs a little bit more work. Paolo in Dishonored 2. Not bad. The suit looks a little bit too like sculpted. Whenever I do suits, I try to model them because trying to sculpt them creates this very like clay looking thing. There's way too much texture on the skin, I would say. He looks a little bit like an orange. The subsurface is fine, but again, we get it into this sort of uncanny valley. Also, careful with the kind of shots that you decide. Like this one's a nice shot. This one, I wouldn't say it's a great shot. This one's fine. So I don't know. He looks a little bit weird on some of the shots. And then this one right here, again, looks interesting. I think you're going a little bit too heavy on the texture. Like the normal map's a little bit too intense for these characters, and I'm not really sure what kind of style I would use these characters. Also, careful with the beard. It looks very scruffy. The hair up here looks nice. The eyelash or the eyebrows look good as well, but the beard looks very coarse and scrappy. So maybe you want to like bring it down a little bit so that it's a little bit softer and more natural. And yeah, I would tone down the texture. I think you're over texturing your character on the skin. It's way too noisy, and that doesn't let us appreciate other things of the character. Because topology is fine. Like this topology is like excellent. The loops on the eyes and everything is excellent. Same advice that I gave to one of the other students: do a full character. That's gonna be important. Like being able to do a full character is really important. Careful in this one. I don't think the proportions on the face are as good. You can see how it goes like back. It's kind of like really flat, and I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's that great. I would probably take this girl out of your portfolio. And remember, for simple props, if it's really simple, if it's a prop that you can do in a day, it's probably not gonna be portfolio worthy. So for instance, this cup right here, I love the texture work, but it's a very simple prop. Like anyone can do this prop in a matter of hours or even less. So careful there. Like this prop right here, this is really good. I really like this one. It looks really nice. Maybe careful here on the, remember the Bane of the Wood. So always go towards the long side of the Bane. This is a nice prop. I like this prop. So that's the kind of prop, because I know that you can't do this in like 1 hour or 2. You need more time. So that's the kind of stuff that you want to have in your portfolio. Same for this one. Like careful on the lightning. I think the lightning here is very flat. You might benefit from the course that I released recently, the cinematic render course, because it's a nice environment. Textures are not that bad, and especially from like a wide shot, I think you can get some nice pictures. But the lighting looks way too flat, so careful there. Other than that, I think it's a nice portfolio. Again, just take out the ones that don't work. I will take this guy out, like this guy, maybe the lightsaber out. Again, simple props don't really need to be on your portfolio. And keep up the good work, my friend Tony. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna stop right here, guys. We did almost an hour of review. That's quite nice, almost an hour. So I'm gonna stop it right here, and tomorrow we'll continue with Nilesh and the rest of you guys. So make sure to stay tuned. Make sure to leave a like, share, subscribe. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you back on the next one. Bye-bye.